Yo, hello and welcome back to a pest farming guide. Today I'll be showing you how to actually efficiently pest farm. Okay, so first things first, gear. What do you need for gear? For the armor, preferably Helianthus with Pesterminator 6, Mossy, Recon, and Gemstone slots. But I know that's a lot, especially for Ironman players. Just use Fermento, Mossy, and Exterminator 5 plus, so 5 or 6. And gemstone slots if you can, if not, it's fine. At the end of the day, the more farming fortune you have, the more money you make. Then, next, for equipment, you want Blossom equipment or Lotus, but preferably Blossom. You want them to be reforged to Rooted and preferably have as high of a level as Green Thumb as you can. I mean, I only have Green Thumb too, but if you can have more, it's just more fortune. At the end of the day, more fortune, more money. Then I would recommend something to teleport around with, so an aspect of the end or an aspect of the void. It doesn't need to be maxed out, just something to teleport with. Then for your farming tool, this is very important because this will give you a lot of fortune. And it really just depends, because when farming I recommend just sticking to one crop. So example, don't go on like semi-max an eclipse hoe, semi-max a potato hoe, semi-max a wheat hoe. Just go choose one. Let's say for me, for example, right, I chose, okay, I want to do moonflowers. So now I just put everything into my moonflower setup, which means I put crop fever 5, I put cultivating, dedication 3, harvesting 6, replenish, I have turbo moonflower 4. But obviously if you can upgrade it more, go ahead, more farming fortune, more money. At the end of the day, it's just how it is. Next thing you'll need a fishing rod. It doesn't have to be a lava rod, just any fishing rod will do. You want a vacuum reforged to BD, and it doesn't have to be the max one, as long as it has the BD reforge and you can one shot pests with your hedgehog, then you're fine. And then also have, preferably if you can, have a squeaky mouse mat. If you don't, you're just gonna have to kind of like manually set your angle, but this is just super nice because of you can just click it and boom, you're ready to farm. And last thing you'll need for the hotbar will be your sprayinator. This will just give you an extra 50 bonus pest chance in a plot, which is just very nice. More pest chance, more money. And then you also need a second set of equipment. So this equipment, you'll use this to farm and to kill the pests, but this set of equipment you're going to be using to spawn the pests. So as you can see, they're all reforged to squeaky, right? That's extra bonus pest chance. You want that for more pests. Then you want 3/4 pest hunter equipment with a pest vest. So that would be a pest vest, a pest hunter belt, a pest hunter necklace, and a pest hunter glove. You want this set up right here. It does not have to be recom the pest vest, I just decided to do it. Just make sure it's on squeaky and you have a pest vest. This is really important. With the recent changes and updates, you can just get this whenever you want. It's not hard to get. It's like 250 pelts. That's like 30 minutes to get, and it's not that bad. Okay, so for pets, you will need a hedgehog pet, a elephant pet, or mushroom cow, or rose dragon. If you have a rose dragon, it's just, instead of using a hedgehog, just use rose dragon to kill the pests also. But you just need a hedgehog to kill the pests. You need a farming fortune pet for just farming fortune when you're just farming normally, and you need either a mosquito or a slug pet, because these give bonus pest chance. So you can see this one gives 40, this one gives 50. This one just gives more because I have a brown bandana on it, but if you put a brown bandana on the slug, it's only 10 less bonus pest chance than a mosquito. So if you're Iron Man or couldn't be bothered to buy this for like 200 mil, then just go get a slug pet for 500k, max it out, put a brown bandana on that, you're fine. All you need. Other thing you need at least 3 auto pet rules. So basically what you need is when you throw a fishing hook, you equip your green or you equip your hedgehog. So first auto pet rule, you throw a fishing hook, you equip your hedgehog with a green bandana, and then for the exceptions, you have the exception of the hedgehog, which is this one, and then the exception of your farming fortune pet. So in my example, it's an elephant. But if you have a rose dragon or mushroom cow they use, it would be as an exception instead of the elephant pet. Next one, you need when you throw a fishing hook, you equip your mosquito with the brown bandana or your slug pet with the brown bandana, and then exceptions is the mosquito pet and the hedgehog. Then for the last one, you wanted to, when you throw your fishing hook, equip your farming fortune pet with a green bandana, and then the exception is your fortune pet and the spawning pet, so that would be either mosquito or slug. That's it for pet rules. Next thing to go over, your garden level. You need at least garden level 9 before you start pest farming, because the slug pest is just the best. It makes the most money, and the reason for that is if we see in the bestiary right here, you can see that it drops slug pets, right? 0.5% for epic, 0.1% for slug, legendary slug. And the epic sells for 500k and the legendary sells for 5 mil. So if you drop a legendary slug pet every 2 hours, that's an extra 2.5 mil an hour just from these, and that's not including the mushrooms or the epic slugs. So it's really just the best pest to farm. Next thing is your chips. You need to have the vermin vaporizer chip. This is probably number 1 in priority to max out. If your Ironman is fine, just try get this as much as you can. This is just really important because it gives you a whole 100 bonus pest chance, which means you'll spawn 1 more pest every time you go to farm. Then for the second most important chip, you need this hypercharge chip. It will make your farming fortune buffs 100% stronger, which basically means it doubles your temporary farming fortune buffs. And then thirdly, or third most important, would be the rare finder. It just depends on the crop, but this just gives you 60% more chance for finding rare crops. Example would be if I'm farming moonflowers, that's a 60% more chance of me dropping helianthus, or 60% more chance of me dropping crappies or squash or whatever. Just rare crops, rare stuff. It's just really nice to have for the extra profit. And that's it for the chips. You just kind of need to have these 3 maxed, and if you can, this crop shot chip, it's also nice to have maxed. It's 100 extra fortune if you max it out fully. You don't really need it, it's just more fortune, more money. And for attributes, preferably you get like the ones that you kind of like, most of these. For example, this pest look is very easy to get. You literally get it from the pest. So if you can't be bothered to go grind it out or buy it, you can just pest farm long enough until you drop all the pest shards yourself. This is nice. More money, more drops from pests, which is more money. This is nice if you're just not dealing enough damage. If you can't one-shot the pest, maybe you don't have the max vacuum, or you're just not doing enough damage. This is just nice to have. This is not really that necessary. It just gives you extra 30 farming fortune when there's a pest in your plot, so that just means extra 30 farming fortune when you're killing your pest. That's not really that much, so if you don't want to buy that, it's not really necessary. This is useless. This is really nice actually. 20 overbloom for the rare crops. This is just extra chance to get more money, right? Um, and then these two are actually kind of nice because let's say it just you can choose like only one of them. For example, I'm farming moonflower, so really I only need this one because it will just give me 50 farming fortune in the night. I'm never gonna farm in the day, so this is not really gonna go into effect, so that's kind of useless. If you need more farming fortune, or if you need more farming wisdom, you can always get this one. I don't really need it, I'm already max level, and this is kind of more useless. I mean, if you're farming netherward, this is extra profit, but it really the main ones to get is one of these two, the pest look, and the praying mantis shard if you need it. Okay, so from the new Harvest Feast update, another way to get extra overbloom is the sunset enchant. In my opinion, way too overkill. Like, you do not need this, but if you're just level 500 and you just have money to spend and you couldn't care less, go ahead, get this. Or if you're ironman and you just happen to get it, it's a really nice upgrade that gives you extra 5 overbloom in the day. In the night it's not really useful. In my opinion, only the overbloom is really useful, and on the full set that'll give you an extra 20 overbloom, so that's more chance for rare crops, more money, right? But in my opinion, this is really overkill. Now in the new update, they also added this new enchant called Bug Blender. It goes up to tier 5, and at tier 5 it gives you 100 farming fortune when vacuuming pests. This goes on your vacuum. This actually is very handy. It just gives you so much more fortune when killing pests, which means more money, so this is nice to have. Okay, and then finally, if you just happen to be able to buy this, this is just super nice to have. I know it's really expensive right now, but just after a couple harvest feasts, when you can get this, this will just increase your profit by hour, because it will just make your pest farming so much more efficient, because you can essentially place this in the middle of a plot, an empty plot, right? Then when you press warp to nearest infested plot, you can just warp. You're in the middle, you're standing on top of this buzzy bee fantabulous disco destination, and then all your pests will be in a 10 block radius of this. So you can just warp to the nearest infested plot, you can just hold down your vacuum, and you can warp back. 5-second kill max, right? That's 5 seconds to kill all of those, and you're essentially done, and you can just go back to farming, which means more money because you have less downtime killing the pests. So this is nice to have, but right now it's not really obtainable. This is way too expensive, 1 billion. But in the future you can definitely get this, use it, it's very nice to have. And then also another thing to mention, it's very nice to have a sundial if you can. It will just basically allow you to use boots like Helianthus boots or Fermento boots instead of Rancher's boots. But you know, if you're Iron Man and you can't get a sundial, it's perfectly fine, don't worry about it. I mean, it's basically the same thing, it's just less fortune. I mean, it's not really that big of a deal. So another handy way to find extra farming fortune if you don't know where to start, just go to eliteskyblock.com and search for your username, and then you'll be able to go through and see what you're missing. So you can see I'm missing some farming fortune from my Helianthus set, some from my equipment, my bestiary, my shards, chips. It just shows you everything that you're missing and what you can do to improve your farming fortune. So it's just another handy way to find more farming fortune. Okay, so before we start pest farming, you just need one mod, which is Sky Honey. This will enable pest farming. Without it you can't really pest farm efficiently. You need Sky Honey, it's pretty useful, and it has all the farming stuff. So for example, every time a pest spawns, it shows me a title. And then I also have this, which is very important. It's a pest timer. So it'll just like, it'll see your pest cooldown, and it'll warn me before it ends. So I have it 3 seconds before it ends. And I also have a custom pest cooldown, because when we're using our pest spawning equipment with the pest vest and the 3 Ford pest hunter equipment, we will be getting a custom cooldown time of 135 seconds, and that's without Finnegan. So with Finnegan it's going to be 75 seconds, so don't forget to input these values when you have Sky Honey. Okay, so in Sky Honey, you can, if you go into the garden and then you scroll down, you'll see garden commands. I have it enabled because you need these two hotkeys. So for example, I have my hotkey for set home as J and my home as L. And if you see in Pest, if I go here in the Pest Finder one, you scroll down, you'll see teleport hotkey as K. So what that means is, when I go and when I press J, I will basically set my garden home where I am in the plot. So I set my home, then I'll press K to warp to the nearest infested plot, and that will be wherever the pests are. Then you kill the pests, swap, whatever, and then I'll press L to warp to my garden home, which is where I press J. So that way, when I spawn a pest, I can set my home, warp to the pest, go back to my home. And that allows you to quickly kill the pest and go back to the exact same spot in your farm without having to start from the very beginning of your farm. I definitely just do recommend using Sky Honey though. I mean, there's other mods, but Sky Honey is the best. So I'm actually going to show you how to start pest farming. So first thing you want to do is go to Philip, and you're gonna go and get your extra 400 farming fortune, or it can change depending on your chip thing, but just go get your extra farming fortune from this guy. Make sure it's always like 40 pests. Then next thing you want to do is go to your farm where you're gonna farm, and you're just gonna spray it using plant matter. So I sprayed this plot, boom. I sprayed this plot, boom. And now I can go to the start of my farm. So right now I also have my spacebar as my attack and the attack as my jump. So what I'll do is I'll use my squeaky mouse mat, I'll hold this, and I'll just, before I actually go, you'll see in my tab my cooldown is ready. So actually I will just go and put on my pest hunter equipment, and then I will go and to my mosquito, or it could be slug pet depending on what you have, and then you just farm. Okay, so my pests have just spawned. So one thing I'll do, I'll press J, then I'll press K, and then I can just go kill the pest. So I'll swap by using my fishing rod, then I will go and kill all the pests. Actually wait, you need to swap your equipment too. Okay, so now I've killed them. I can stop hovering, then I'll press L, I'll go back to my tool, and I'll just go back to farming. Wait, then you need to swap and go back to farming. Anyway, as you can see, my pest cooldown has just expired. I will go swap equipment, swap my pet, start farming again. So now I can just press J, K, then I can swap my equipment, I can swap my pet, I can start killing everyone, and all the pests are killed. I can stop flying, press L, swap my pet, back to farming. Okay, so after pest farming for 1 hour with moonflower, I have made this much. So 2 Helianthus, 6 of these. I did drop a legendary slug pet and a normal, just epic one. I've got 1.5 stacks of compacted moonflower. This is the mushrooms from the slugs, and then this is just kind of extra from all the other types of pests that spawn. And then these are also from the locusts. So I'm gonna go see what I've made. Also, this money here on the side, right, that is from just selling like the vinyls and the extra crops and just anything that gets dropped from the pests while you're farming, and that just kind of clogged up my inventory. I just sold it and I made an extra 3.3 mil just from those extra things. So let's go see what this is all worth. So firstly, I'm not too sure if I should take into account these crystallized moonlight because it is 20 mil extra in an hour, so I don't think I'm gonna count those. But if you're on the normal profile, that is an extra 20 mil an hour. So 2 NPC, we would have made, let's see how much we would have made. Boom, 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 boom. We would have made 30 mil, and then I sell this, extra 5 mil, sell this. So 36 mil in 1 hour. And that's not including these drops and those drops. Oh wait, and also I have all this extra stuff. So I did get a chip, I'm pretty sure. Nope, okay. Anyway, I have made 36 mil in 1 hour ironman. So that's to ironman. So it's not too bad. But now if I go ahead and also sell the other stuff, I would have made quite a bit more money. So I can sell this. This is pretty cheap. This is about 100k. These are about 167k. And then these are 19 mil. So if I were to sell those, that would be quite a bit of money, wouldn't it? Wait, so what's this? This is 18.9. So on a normal profile, I would have made 54 mil in that 1 hour, and on Ironman I would have made 36, just for farming moonflower with slug pests. So it's not terrible rates. It's actually pretty decent rates. Yeah. And also, if I were on a normal profile, I could also sell these guys to Bazaar. So in actuality, so I would have made an extra 20 mil from Ironman to normal. So it's not too bad money actually. Definitely worth getting into pest farming. So that's from 1 hour though, 1 hour, and that's during Finnegan. With 2,400 farming fortune, about 467 pest chance, and yeah, it's not too bad. And I think I procced crop fever 2 times in that 1 hour. I dropped 6 crystallized moon things from the new event, which is not too bad. Yeah, it's not terrible money. I mean, 56 mil an hour. Don't expect it to be this high later though, like in a couple months, because the price of these crystallized moonlight, it will definitely go down from like 3 mil per to maybe like 100k, 500k per. So this is only really like right now that you can make this much money on the normal profile, and on Ironman it's still 36 mil an hour, and that's not dependent on whether it's now or later. You're just gonna be making that much money like all the time. I mean, it is Finnegan, so right now with Finnegan probably increased profits, so I would say maybe for Ironman you'd probably be making 30 mil an hour normally. So it's not even that bad. It's pretty good, pretty decent money. Anyway, thank you for watching this video, this guide. If you want any more guys, just comment them. I'd really appreciate some ideas, or if just whatever you guys want to see, I'll make. Don't worry, I'm thinking of making a mage or tank guide for F7 next, but I'll see how it goes. And last thing though, shout out to my guild, bro. They gave me a rank. As you can see in the previous videos, I was Anon. And now I've got VIP rank, and I've ascended, and I got basic human rights. So thank you to my guild, shout out to them, and yeah, I'll see you all guys later. Bye bye.